mission. Our key objective to provide a forum for promoting sorority amongst female engineers. And I'm sure that everyone that is on this call and those that will join us will combine forces with us to make sure that we achieve this vision. On that note, I'd like to welcome us once again. A brief that would like to put in terms of what we need to do. If you're not speaking, please make sure that your mic is muted. If you need to pass any comments, use the chat box or use the raise hand icon that you have, the feature that you have, then you will be called to speak. On that note, once again, welcome to this meeting. And our guest speaker is already around. Thank you, Engineer Margaret Oguntala, FNSCHE, for being our guest speaker for today. We'll take the national anthem, then take the second stanza of the national anthem as our opening prayer. Okay, if we're unable to play the first stanza, I think we can recite that. We can sing that, then we'll recite the second stanza. Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call obey, to serve our father's land with love and strength and faith. The labor of our shall never be in vain. To serve with hearts and minds, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. Thank you very much. We'll recite the second stanzas as our opening prayer for this program. O God of creation, direct and noble us, guide our leaders right, help our youth to know, in love and honesty to grow, and living just and truth, with lofty heights attain, to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign. Amen. Amen. Thank you very much. On a lighter note, I can't forget where some people were called to recite the national anthem at a high-level event. We're all historians, the Nigerians, we know what happened. And I'm glad that people here confidently recited the national anthem. Thank you very much for doing that. We can't disappoint our nation. It's our allegiance and commitment to making sure that Nigeria works. Thank you. You're welcome to the theme for this e-learning is networking and partnership for sustainable professional development. For those that joined this e-learning session earlier before we started officially, you saw an advert about Loopworks Nigeria Limited. I want to appreciate them, especially their key partners in making sure that this e-learning platform gets the support required. We appreciate the establishment and the entire management. Networking and partnership for sustainable professional development. I'd like to tell you that you should be relaxed to learn, unlearn, and then improve all that you need to do in networking for the development in your profession. Allow me to call on the president of the Association of Professional Women Engineers of Nigeria. I call her the #1 female engineering citizen in Nigeria, as she gives us a welcome address
before we go fully into the session. My president, Engineer Funmilola Ojelade, fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, the 16th president of this great association, you're welcome to give us the welcome address. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Bosedi, for that opening. I always like the way you do your opening. You know, you keep getting better every day, and we appreciate you for that. I want to welcome everyone, like Engineer Bosedi has said. And APWEN, this is what we like to do. We like to educate the public, you know, about things. And this is specifically one of them, you know, which is networking. Because we go to school, you learn a lot of good things, you become an engineer. But if you do not know how to network, you may find it difficult to grow and to rise. And we are taking from an expert this morning, someone who has been networking for a while. You see her credentials, how she is a 3-time vice president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. She has contested for deputy at a time. She is the first female chairman of, so all these things require you to have good networking skills before you can achieve them. So you know that you are hearing from someone who has done this before and is going to teach us and help us to know how to do it. I won't take too much of your time, but I just want to appreciate everyone who's been here. I want to recognize the presence of the immediate past president of APWEN, Engineer Felicia Gubata, and also the vice president, Southwest Nigeria of the NSC, Engineer Adeniran Ibitoye Kilomodimo. And everyone here is important. I thank you very much for coming. And of course, the chairman of the BESCOM committee, Engineer Olufunlayo Kadri, FNSC. Thank you all for the great work that you are doing. And I wish us a very successful outing today.
Thank you very much, Ma, for that welcome address. I want to call on, before we bring our guest speaker to speak, I'd like us to listen to our profile. The profile of Erelu, when I saw the abridged profile, I was wondering, Erelu's profile is suitable for any version of event she is attending. I wanted to look at, I saw one that I saw that it was entirely different from what we got. That shows you that she's actually going to speak on what we have today effectively. I'd like to call on Engineer Oluremi Ahmed as she takes up the profile of our guest speaker today. Engineer Remi Ahmed, are you here? Engineer Remi Ahmed is
yes,
the CEO
I'm here.
of Hydrogen Energy. Yes, let me introduce you. Don't worry, darling. She's the CEO of Hydrogen Energy, a Tech Women Fellow. And those are part of the mentees that are looking at how we make sure that networking and partnership enhances our professional development. So Engineer Remi, please give us the profile of Erelu 1.
Thank you so much, Engineer Bosedi. It's a great honor to be the one to read the profile of one of the great women that I look up to in NSC and APWEN. I'm really privileged, and I'd just like to say thank you to Mumi Kadri for selecting me to do this. So I'll be reading the profile of Engineer Margaret Oguntala, FN FNSCHE, popularly known as Erelu, obtained in 1986. He started certificate courses workshops, seminars, and conferences. Margaret started her career as chemical sales executive with a Lebanese-owned company, Afro International Enterprises Limited, Maturi, Lagos, in 1988, and rose to the position of marketing manager before leaving to start her home business in 1992. In her 36 years of postgraduate life, she has garnered experience in various fields of chemical engineering and management. Today, she is the MD CEO of BAMSAT Nigeria Limited, as well as managing partner of BAMSAT Engineering Services Limited. Both companies are involved in environmental consultancy, fire and safety, and civil and mechanical, apologies, fire and safety and civil and mechanical engineering services, respectively. She is also an executive director of Kenol Nigeria Limited, a foremost electrical and mechanical engineering company. Presently, Margaret is a representative of Southwest Geopolitical Zone on the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, COREN. She is also a member, Governing Council, Lagos State Polytechnic. She is also a member, College Industrial Board, Covenant University, Ota. A three-term vice president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Margaret has served the Nigerian Society of Engineers in various capacities in her 25 years of membership. She rose through the ranks to become the 9th chairman of NSC Ikeja branch in 2009 and 2010 before moving to the headquarters. At the national level of the Association of Professional Women Engineers in Nigeria, which is APWEN, Engineer Oguntala served as the General Secretary, as the Publicity Secretary and Technical Secretary at various times between 1996 and 2004. She has also remained active in the Nigerian Society of Chemical Engineers since she joined in 1993. A distinguished woman of substantial substance, Engineer Margaret Oguntala has over 50 awards and accolades to her name. She is happily married with children and grandchildren. It is my pleasure and a great honor to welcome Engineer Margaret Oguntala, FNSC, as she takes us on the topic networking and partnership for sustainable professional development. You're welcome, Ma.
Thank you. Sorry, I really didn't sleep well. I had an international flight from Abuja to Lagos, a flight that took off at over 10 p.m. So I got home around 12, and I've been away for about 1 week, so I have not slept very well. So my voice may be cracking, but I'll make the best of it. So can you please make me a co-host so I can share my screen?
You're already a co-host.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay. So good morning, my president, the president of the Association of Professional Women Engineers of Nigeria, Engineer Fumilola Ojeladi, fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers, fellow Nigerian Society of Chemical Engineers. The immediate past president of the association, Engineer Dr. Felicia Agubata, fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers. Permit me to recognize here a vice president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Felix Adeniran Ibitoye Kilomodimo, fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers, fellow Nigerian Institution of Mechanical Engineers. My elders here, especially the one that I fondly call Auntie, though she says no, the chairman of this platform, Engineer Fumi Layo Kadri. Other elders that may have joined after I stopped checking the participant list, distinguished engineers, ladies and gentlemen. I have been introduced. So, but for the benefit of those who were not here at the beginning, when my citation was being read, my name is Margaret Oguntala, as I always call myself. My credentials as stated, as you can see on the screen. I hope you can see my screen. Okay, so my credentials are stated on the screen. Thank you. So my job here today is to deliver a paper or make a presentation on networking and partnership for sustainable professional development. And in doing this, I'm going to have done my protocols. So yes, so I'm going to look at this. This is the outline of what I'm going to be talking about. The introduction, I'm going to talk about networking, types of networking, the benefits of networking, professional partnership, membership of professional body, the common mistakes that we make here and there, you know, that are everyday mistakes that are avoidable, tips for successful partnerships and relationships, and then a few other things, and then I'll conclude. Now, the main purpose of every association is to derive a benefit and render services. For instance, this is APWEN. We are here on APWEN, and you must have a reason for joining the association. You expect some benefits. You also expect to render services. And I'll talk more about this as I go along. I say here that the role and impacts of professional network has been instrumental to success of so many people and integral to professional development of many others. There is no way you can develop yourself without other people. Whether it's in the classroom, the football field, or boardroom, we all need someone, that's someone to work with and exchange ideas with that would affect our lives positively and sometimes negatively. So when we need to undertake new ventures or improve ourselves, we also need other people to help us do that. And because no man is an island, we relate to one another, you know, to contribute to each other's success and to each other's lives. And it's for this reason that the impact of professional networking and partnership is felt in our career development. Networking. So there is this definition that networking is an exchange of information or ideas among people with common profession or special interests. And it is also a significant part of building successful and sustainable career in any field. So as with any social skill, you can learn networking. It's not equal. Some people are actually gifted in networking. I know somebody that we call network engineer. I'm sure he's here now, Engineer Ademola Olorunfemi, FNSC, past president. We call him the network engineer, the mobile engineer. He's very perfect at it. I'm sure he was born that way. For some of us, we have to learn it. But either way, whether you're born with it or you learn it, you need it. So what that means is that you must have it. You must have the skills for networking. And it is used by professionals to expand their cycles. Your cycles expand as you network. And then you're able to harness those various opportunities that you come across as you network to apply on in your basic work or your environment. And it's also about meeting and establishing mutually beneficial connections with people in your profession or industry. And also, apart from profession or industry, you also have neighbors. So you don't limit yourself to your profession or your industry. I know people, as somebody has told me sometimes that there are people who live in maybe estates or wherever they live, and they don't even know their next door neighbor. And my mommy, Engineer Musu, she told me that one day, she just woke up in the morning and she started knocking on the doors of her neighbors. She lives in an estate. And because she's used to living in Surulere, where everybody knows everybody. And then she now moved to an estate much later in life, where people mind their own business, so to speak. She got fed up with that attitude, meaning that sometimes you would need your neighbors and you may not even know them. So she walked down to them, she would just knock on the door and say, hello, I'm your neighbor. And I tried to do that here when I moved to an estate here in Bagada. And then before she told me, I'd been here for about 2 years, and really I didn't know my next door neighbor until she told me. So I said, hey, really? So I could do that. So I did the same thing. And a few months later, it was election time, and we all met at the polling booth. So by that time, we knew one another. So we go, hello, hello, you know, that. And it's so very important. You never know when you need to call on that relationship. And going further, networking is the most informal level of partnership, because we're talking about networking and partnership. So you have to start from networking and then move it, develop it, and upgrade, and then it becomes partnership, and then eventually collaboration. So there needs to be a minimal level of trust and willingness to share information, and the contacts are usually made informally. You meet someone and say, hello, my name is Margaret. May I know your name? You know, may I have your card? This is my number. That's where it starts. And before you know it, this person that you have met today, through him, you meet another person, and then your network expands and you grow. So professional partnerships in most cases start from networking, as I've said, and grow into more productive relationships, often leading to collaborations. In other cases, it might be that you want to build professional partnerships that can align with company goals. You also have to start with networking. There are 3 kinds of network. There is the operational network, there's personal network, and there's strategic network. The operational network is mostly internal and not far removed from your social circles. So it's just a small one. You know, this contacts help you to achieve short-term goals, and then you move away from them, you move to the next. Then personal networks, these groups and individuals offer outside referrals. So these are people who help you to reach other people, you know, for future interests. And personal networks can also help you to seek opportunities outside your organization. Then there's strategic network, which is based on future priorities, gaining leverage, getting both internal and external contacts to support your efforts. It can be time consuming though, and can take you away from critical daily activities. But since you know the importance of this network, this particular kind of network is something that you have to do. Because that means you prioritize and you create time to do it. All the 3 networks are recommended for effective personal networking. Here are benefits of networking. So we are saying network. So what do you benefit from networking? You strengthen your business and professional connections. You stimulate fresh ideas and knowledge. You meet new people, they have knowledge that is different from yours, so you are able to exchange ideas and you stimulate ideas of others. And it's an opportunity to raise your professional profile. More people get to know you and relate you to specific specialization that you project. Engineer Ojelade was saying this morning about Engineer Bosedo, that she's getting better and better. It's because she got to know her, and she's developing herself as she's going along and getting better. And then also, of course, increasing her network. Job opportunities for unemployed and those in need of new challenges. You also gain knowledge and professional development. Your confidence, there's confidence boosting and confidence building. The more you network, the more confident you become. So meeting people, some people are naturally shy, but when you are exposed to other people, you begin to gain some more confidence as time goes on. And before you know it, you're so confident I can stand and say, hello, my name is Margaret, you know, but it doesn't start from the beginning. I mean, it doesn't start, you can't get there in one day. You have to build up to it. So you gain different perspective of other people, and then you build new relationships and develop older ones. You relax and unwind from stress of work, and then you have partnership opportunities. Now, relaxing and unwinding is one aspect that some of us don't even look at when we are networking. Whatever you're doing, always find time to enjoy yourself. Even when you are trying to build a relationship for your organization or for your career, in between, somehow, find a way of enjoying yourself and relaxing. This is another lesson that I've been taught by my mommy Amusu. Every time she calls me and I say, where are you? And I say, I'm in Ilorin, I'm in Sokoto. She will say, I hope you are enjoying yourself. I hope you are finding time to enjoy yourself. And I try as much as possible to do that. So now we'll go to professional partnership. Professional partnership means many things, but for the purpose of this presentation, we shall focus on professional partner. I mean, partnership means a lot of things to different people, but for the purpose of this presentation, we shall focus on professional partnership, and which is a relationship among two people or organizations. And then it's also getting your network plan right, you know, which is essential towards getting your partnership plan right. If you don't get your network plan right, then you cannot get your partnership plan right, because it's networking that leads to partnership. The networking can grow progressively to coordination, cooperation, and collaboration. I'll show that later. Then partnerships can take many forms and characteristics, depending on the needs of the strategic and desires of the partners. So when you're going into partnership too, it will depend on what the needs of the individuals who are going to that partnership are. So you must be able to identify what your interests are. And here you can see from this table the levels of partnership. Networking is the lowest, as you can see here. And it means exchanging information for mutual benefit. So it's just like, hello, my name is Margaret, may I have your contact? That's networking. Then the next level is coordination, which is a step higher. And that is the step that the next step is altering activities and ways of working to achieve a common purpose. So now you are working towards a common purpose, you and your network group. And then that is coordination. So you alter your activities, you start working in particular ways so that you can achieve a common purpose. And then the next level is cooperation, which is also a step higher than coordination. And here is what makes the difference now between cooperation and coordination is sharing resources. You now begin to share your resources between the partners, you know. So what do you have that I don't have? So you share and stuff. And then you move to collaboration. Collaboration is, again, another step higher than cooperation. And the difference is that it is in enhancing each other's capacity for mutual benefit. So here you can have two organizations, for instance, BAMSA Nigeria Limited and Kenol Nigeria Limited. And BAMSA is civil and is specialized in civil and mechanical, and then civil and construction, and then Kenol is electrical and mechanical. And then we can work together. We get a job and we say, okay, let's come together and collaborate. You do the civil aspect, BAMSA does the civil aspect, Kenol does the electrical and mechanical, but we must have started from somewhere. We don't start from there. We start from networking. The MD of BAMSA getting to meet the MD of Kenol, and then we take it stage by stage, and then before you know it, we are collaborating. Now, there are two ways to build networks. You can link up with people individually, and you can join a group or organization, or you can do both. Preferably, you do both. As you are linking up with people individually, you also join groups, organizations to help build your network. And the individuals are, or could be, your co-workers, your bosses, past and present, your neighbors, as I've said earlier, your former teachers and professors, your former colleagues, your relatives, your social media friends. Some people are very good at that. I know two couples who got married from social media, meeting on social media. And while some of us are still so afraid, I know these two couples and they are doing very well. So, but there are a lot of other things that you can do. I know somebody who does business with people overseas just by meeting them on social media. Although, of course, you also get to meet scammers as well. So the other way of building your networks is to join groups and organizations, like I've said earlier. Here, I have a list here, the Nigerian Society of Engineers, the Association of Professional Women Engineers, and I'll use myself as an example. I started by joining the Association of Professional Women Engineers of Nigeria, APWEN, in 1995. And when I joined, I just started attending the meetings. And then the secretary was abroad at the time. And so at that time, APWEN was still very small. So in the office of the president, engineer Ms. Amusu just said, okay, the EXCO members met, and they said, Margaret is available, let's make her assistant secretary. And so I started doing the work of assistant secretary and secretary. And then from there, I joined the Nigerian Society of Engineers. So it's always better to join from the smaller group. APWEN for the women, because that's where you have people of common interests. So it's better for you to join APWEN. Then from APWEN, I went to the Nigerian Society of Engineers. I started growing my network there while not leaving APWEN. Because even as a member of Nigerian Society of Engineers Ikeja branch, I still held positions and performed well in my duties as APWEN, as an APWEN member. I was assistant secretary. From there, I became publicity secretary to during the tenure of engineer Ona Okoli. I was technical secretary during the tenure of I was the technical secretary during the tenure of engineer Ola Sulaiman. And then I was also secretary again during the tenure of engineer Patricia Opene Odili. So I was doing that as well as being active in the Ikeja branch. So all I needed to do was map out my time, create the time, prioritize my duties, and of course, not forgetting that I also had to take care of the home. And somewhere in between, while doing all of that, even also with the Nigerian Society of Chemical Engineers, where I was in the examination committee, a very serious committee, very demanding for years. And I was able to do all of that and also match them with my homework, with my family, and all of that. Of course, we women are very good at that, multitasking. We are created for that. God is wonderful. He has done that for us. But you must identify your strengths and your weaknesses and make sure that wherever you are weak, you just make sure that you patch that side and you don't allow that to affect, you don't allow what you're doing with your groups or associations to affect what you're doing at home. In between also, I got to represent the Nigerian Society of Engineers in the Association of Professional Bodies of Nigeria. Again, expanding my network. So now I have a very large network. You can see from this photograph that these are different groups of people. I think there's one of them that was taken in, I think maybe during the inauguration of Engineer Mrs. Maduka as the president of the Academy of Engineering in Nigeria. So I have been able to build networks in various groups and various organizations. And while also doing this, I've also been exposed to organizations that are related to NSC or APWEN, organizations with whom or with which NSC collaborates. So I've always also been part of that network. Now, there are two sides to networking. The first side of the coin is what is in it for me. So that's what you get. And the other side of the coin is what you give. So what do you give and what do you get? And I say here that networking is like business transaction. Before you can get, you have to decide what you will give. You cannot get without giving. And effective networking should embrace the principle of reciprocity. I mean, we all, even the layman knows that life is give and take, like we always say. Then think of what you are giving and develop yourself in that direction. So, what do you have to give? What you have to give is what positions you as a resource and not a liability. There are some people who go into relationships, even simple man-woman relationships, as liabilities. And all you do is ask, but you never think of giving. So you must position yourself, before you can think of networking, you must position yourself to give. Always make yourself a resource and not a liability. And when you give, your action will activate the principle of reciprocity, and then you will get. It's a natural law of nature, which governs networking. And if you see, look at your right-hand side here, I've put here the reciprocity principle. Even in web design, it says humans tend to return good deeds. Use this social psychology law in your interface, in user interface design to gain users' trust. Because if you don't gain the users' trust, then you cannot motivate engagement with your site or app. So something as simple as that requires giving. So what can you give? What you give is more. And that is M-O-R-E. More is method. Can you make something easier? That's making something easier for your contacts. What can you make easier? Maybe to information. Can you make it easier for people to get information, you know, or what? Then opportunities. Can you allow people to an opportunity, say a job contract or scholarship or grants? I know people who are experts at that. Every time I look at the WhatsApp group, I know there are some people who just have, you know, the flair for looking for opportunities and posting on groups. So that is making themselves relevant and giving. Then resources. Can you offer someone or something, a link up with someone, you know, offer somebody a link up for somebody. Somebody, you need to do this. Okay, I can give you the link. You know, so you are a resource. Then enthusiasm. Are you excited about what you're doing, about something in particular? I mean, people must know that there's this area. If you need somebody in this area, call Margaret. You know, that kind of thing. And they'll say, no. That's our area of strength. So that makes people look for you and regard you as a resource. Then what you will get is real. So results, you get result. What outcome do you want? Whatever outcome you will get from whatever you give. And then you also get some expertise. Whatever you want to know about, you also receive, because you are giving information, you also receive expertise. And then you gain access. Who and what do you need to find? The people that you need to find, you will find them. You will find them when you network properly. Then leads, L for leads. Now, who do you need to meet? So you get leads to people that you need to meet while networking. And this is what Deepak Chopra has to say. He says, giving connects to people, the giver and the receiver. And this connection gives birth to a new sense of belonging. So we must always remember that. Now, making the most of your professional membership. One of the most easily accessible ways to network is through professional associations, as I've said. But ironically, most people have not been exploiting these vast opportunities, as they assume all they have to do is attend meetings and or listen to lectures and go home. So you have to do more than that. You have to do more than attending meetings. And I've stated here some ways to make the most of your professional membership. Be more active. This will give you visibility among members. When you're active, people will know you, people will see you. Join with purpose and attend with a purpose. You don't join groups for the sake of it. You must have a purpose. You want to grow. And I remember that when I went to APWEN, I had two reasons for joining. The first one, incidentally, was the fact that Engineer Nkechi Isigwe, when she was president, she actually sent a form to me in my house, because she was my husband's colleague. And I filled the form, I submitted, but I never attended. Until one day, I sat there and I thought, okay, what do I even want? I didn't have a job, I was between jobs. So I asked myself, how do you now get this job? And I realized that I needed to join a group where I would find somebody, a lead that would, you know, maybe get me the job. So while I was thinking, I got this link, I got this invite. I think somebody, at that time there was no phone, no nothing, but I think I just met somebody who said, there's APWEN meeting taking place in Yabatek. So I said to myself, okay, good opportunity. So I went to Yabatek. And the meeting held in Engineer Ms. Amusu's office. That was my first time of seeing her. Incidentally, I fell in love with her when I saw her. She had this very cool, you know, I was like, look at this older woman, so calm, so collected, yet so professional. So I made up myself that I was going to emulate her. So I asked her what I needed to do. And I joined that point. That was the day I started attending meetings. So I went with a purpose. My purpose was to meet people who will connect me to a job, which I needed at the time. So I didn't just go with my friend or because people were going. I had a purpose. Then volunteer your time and lend a hand when necessary. So you must volunteer your time. If you go for a purpose and you don't volunteer your time, then you may never really achieve that purpose. So I joined and I became, a few months later, I was made assistant secretary. I started working. And then immediately, or soon after, I was introduced, I was to organize the meeting. and I mean, being the secretary, assistant secretary, and we started meeting. That was when we started meeting in Water Corporation, when Engineer Tower Williams was GM. So while organizing or arranging the meeting, I got to meet the GM of Water Corporation. I eventually I went for the interview, for Water Corporation, for employment there. I met a lot of other people, and the horizon was just wide open for me, because I did not only join, I volunteered my time. Then arrive early, leave late. That's the thing. When you're going for a meeting, you don't get there. If the meeting is slated for 4 o'clock, you don't plan to get there at 4 o'clock or 4:05 or 4 or 5 o'clock. You get there, like, say, at least 15 minutes to the time. And that was something too that the late Ralph Alabi taught us. He says, come early, so you have time to network with people. Then after the event, you don't rush. Some people immediately after the meeting, they have carried their bags and they have left. Before you look back, they have gone. In fact, they don't even wait to the end of the meeting. So what have they come there to do? But Ralph Alabi used to tell us, come early, meet with people, mingle with people, and then leave late, so that those who came in after the meeting started, you are also able to talk to them. Introduce yourself to the leaders. Walk up to them. Hello, sir. My name is Margaret, sir. May I meet you? Talk to strangers. Build trust and radiate confidence. And don't wait for people to call you. Share ideas. Help others to connect. Then let people know your business and areas of interest. It's very important. Introduce yourself. My name is Margaret. I'm into environmental consultancy, proper introduction. And you never know, the person could say, really, I've been looking for a company that would do my EIE. Can you do that? And then, boom, you get a job. You get reference. So these are common mistakes that you must avoid. Appearing without interacting, which I've mentioned. You just walk into a meeting, you never interact, you sit down, listen to the lecture or the meeting, and what betide you if the chairman of the meeting is one that does not even make the meeting interactive. You may not get to speak, to even say pim, or you may not hear other people say anything. So you just appear and you don't interact. But if you had come earlier and you had interacted, even if the meeting is non-interactive, you have not lost anything. Skipping networking is a big mistake, which some people make. Attending workshops and events only for meals and certificates. Some people go to events only for the meals, and some go only for the certificate, because you would require the certificate maybe to upgrade your membership grade or level, or for you to show in the office that you were there. But it's more than that. You must really make the best of it. Sitting with those you already knew. We make that mistake all the time. When we go to conferences, we look for ourselves. Hey, wherever you find Margaret, we find Funmi, we find. But what you need to do is sit as much as possible. Most times, sit with people that you didn't know, so that you can start a new group of network. You can expand your network. Then waiting for others to talk to you first. You don't wait. Talk to people. Then giving up when your networking is not producing desired results. There are times when you really try, and it doesn't produce desired results. Okay, like I mentioned the case of my application to Water Corporation. At the time that I was to go for the interview, because of what the work that I was doing in NSC and APWEN, I had gotten to know the commissioner for works in Lagos State, the commissioner for environment, who was the supervising commissioner for Lagos State Water Corporation. And I also knew the commissioner for tourism. And all of them gave me referral. But it still didn't work. I was not employed. And what was the reason that was given? That they don't take chemical engineers in Water Corporation, because that was their tradition. Incidentally, a few years later, the GM was a chemical engineer. But that's another story. But they didn't take me. But I was not discouraged. I still continued. I could have, because like I said earlier, my main aim really of joining APWEN at the time that I joined was to get a job. But I didn't get that job. And yet I was not discouraged. But then I got a lot of other good things. Goodwill, a lot of goodwill, and a lot of other jobs. Stirring up negative energy and spreading gossips. Well, that's one area where we are good at. So negative energy could come from somebody is sitting beside you. Somebody comes, you're already sitting somewhere, somebody comes to sit beside you. Even before the person says hi, you should say hello. But when you sit and you are frowning your face, whatever your problems are, then you stir up negative energy. You radiate negative energy, and people don't want that kind of thing. And then we must avoid spreading rumors. It's it's something that we shouldn't do. Then tips for, okay, so now I go to tips for successful partnerships and relationships. You have to select an organization that has shared interest and vision or goals and objectives that you have, and then you commit to them. Understand your partner's motivations and interests. Choose diverse and credible partners. Analyze strengths and weaknesses and ensure they complement each other. Now, choosing your partners is something that is very, very, very important. And then also knowing when to take your relationship to the level of partnership instead of networking, when you need to upgrade that relationship. And that's one area where a lot of us don't pay attention. We have a lot of people, we know a lot of people, but we don't know when to add that extra value to the relationship to make it a partnership. So you must understand, and the way, before you can do that, you must understand your partner's motivations and interests and identify them. So once you identify and understand, it will be easy for you to now develop real good partnership and relationships. Then making your networking count for productive partnership and professional development. Build network, whether you need help or not. I'll also tell you a bit more about partnerships. When I became the chairman of Ikeja branch, we have this newsletter that we do, the Ikeja Engineer. And we used to, what we used to do was the branch will produce the newsletter, and then we'll sell to members. We'll launch at the meeting. Okay, we are launching newsletter. This one pays 5,000, 10,000. And then I realized that we're not making enough money to even cover the cost of the printing. So I have friends from my network of friends. I asked a few people, do you know anybody, maybe the CEO of a company who wants some publicity, you know? So, and then I got, the first one that I got was Cable Metal. This company in Arepo. This cable, wire and cable. And then I got them. And I went to the man and I said, sir, I want us to partner, sir. And he asked me how. I said, I have this newsletter that I want to produce. And I can feature your company. Coleman Wires and Cables. I said, I can project your company. I can, you know, NSC Ikeja branch is a brand. You know, once we feature you in our newsletter, you will get more referrals, you will get more contracts, you will get more, you know. And the man looked at me and said, really, yeah, this is a good partnership. So that was a deviation from going to, in the past, what we used to do was just go to that kind of company and say, sir, can we come and want you to donate to us? So I didn't ask for donation. I asked for partnership. And they partnered with us. So they paid the whole cost of that, the edition of that newsletter. We put them on, we featured them, and then they made a lot of sales from it. You know, and for every program that we did for about 1 year, they kind of sponsored or branded the venue and stuff. So we had that partnership. And by the time I became, and I had that with a few other companies, not just Coleman, but by the time I became vice president in NSC, it was easier. I developed the skill even further, to the extent that in 2014, we were planning the quarterly dinner, the conferment of fellowship, and somebody in my network, you know, suggested, you know, I know Samsung. I said, really, you know Samsung? Okay, can you take me to them so that they will donate? And then I quickly remembered that donation is not the word. It's what you do is partnership. So I went to Samsung and I said, sir, I would like you to partner with us. And so they said I should give them a proposal. And I told them, I said, we'll use the brand NSC for you. We'll allow you to put our name on your website as your partners. We will also put you on our website as our partners. And that's one. Number two, for the relationship, your benefits from that relationship will be one, free branding of all our events. At all events, you can brand for free. And then two, for every event that we have, you have free adverts in our brochure. And the man said, really? I went there, a group of them, the South Koreans mainly, and then our Nigerian counterparts. And they said, okay. So we spoke and for about 1 hour, and they agreed. So what did we get? I told them, for us to put you on our website and for you to use our name on your website, you give us money. Eventually, we agreed for 50 million naira, and they paid us in naira, over $82,000. That's what I raised for the Nigerian Society of Engineers. So I did that, and with that money, with the money that we raised, we're able to do a lot of other things. If I had asked for donation or a one-off relationship, how would we have gotten that? And not only did they do all of that, they also gave us prizes for branches that came first in the welfare program. I remember that Engineer Ibitoye, he was chairman of Oshobo branch at the time, and they got a very huge refrigerator, which was donated by Samsung because of the partnership that we had. And they came first in the membership and the welfare program during the conference in 2014 and got that refrigerator. So partnership is something that you cannot do without. So build your network, whether you need help or not. Be a valuable member of your network. Have a goal, set your target, and aim for it. Put your confidence to action. That's very important. When they call you to come and make a presentation, you must be confident. I remember that there was one presentation that I had to go for Nigerian Society of Engineers. I went to Oando. I think it was Engineer Akintola who gave me the link to Oando. And I went to there. They said, Madam, you have to come and make a presentation to our bosses. I said, okay. And I also remember that the staff of NSC at the time, at the liaison office, Mustafa said, Madam, if it's presentation, we have one, they will give us. Because he knew that I had the requisite confidence, the required confidence to deliver and then to get results. And of course, when I went to Oando, by the time I finished my presentation, they gave us the 4 million that I wanted for the Young Engineers Program of 2015 conference. And that money was deployed to the conference. So have an eye for an opportunity and always pay attention, because there are times when if you are not careful, you just lose focus, and then you don't, you are not able to grab that opportunity that comes. Now, I just put this because I just wanted us to remember what professional development means. And it means it's learning. They say professional development is learning or to learn, to earn or maintain professional credentials such as academic degrees, to formal coursework, attending conferences, and informal learning opportunities situated in practice. So what this means is professional development is all about formal coursework, attending conferences, and also other informal things that you do, which is networking. And it has also been described as intensive and collaborative. So, which means that you cannot develop professionally unless you really commit to it and you are able to go into partnerships and collaborations. You can build your company. I know that there was a time when NSC, we have talked about a lot about collaborating. And it's one problem that we still have with engineers. We need to collaborate more. We need more of collaboration. We can, as standalones, we can do a lot. But when we collaborate, we can do a lot more. Now, look at this continuing professional cycle. It says identify and plan. So you identify your goals and you plan towards it. And then you learn. We have learning activities. So there are activities that you must learn from. And then you reflect on your learning, you apply your learning, and you share your learning. So that is just what you have here is simply the continuing professional development cycle. And what you have been talking about is about this cycle. Things that can help you to achieve this cycle from number 1 to number 5. Yes. So in conclusion, I'll say that number 1, your network can be your net worth. So The bigger your network, the more expanded your network, then the better your net worth. Every opportunity that you have to come across other professionals is an opportunity to grow your network. So when you go for APWEN meeting, when you go for NSC meeting, it's an opportunity. When you go for a conference, when you go for a workshop, even this platform, in spite of the fact that it's an e-platform, there are people on this platform now. There's somebody that I saw in the beginning. I knew his name, Fidelis Boy. We have chatted before. I've never seen his face, but I saw it now. And I said, good to see you here. And we can take it to the next level from here. So consider every meeting an opportunity to grow your network. Then networking exposes you to new opportunities, some of which you may not even have thought of before. There are a lot of things that, it's when you meet people or when you're around people that your eyes are open to them. You never even think about them. Then professional associations offer various opportunities, which many of us have not been tapping from. So we need to wake up and tap from these opportunities. I was sitting in my office one day as chairman of Ikeja branch. Thank God for diligence, because as chairman, even though we're using our office as secretariat at the time, and I also knew that people would come, because a lot of times people would come, I want to sign my form, I want to do, so I used to go to the office very early. And I also had this habit. I had a jacket in my office. So whatever I was wearing, be it a dress, okay, at that time I hadn't started wearing Ankara and dressing like this. I used to wear English, that time it was English in 2009, 2010. So I would wear whatever I was wearing. I had a jacket that I could quickly put on, to make me look formal. So on this day in the morning, I was sitting in my office and Engineer Dr. Latunji called me and said, Chairman, where are you? Incidentally, it's my immediate predecessor. And I said I was in my office. At that time, it was the Director of Professional Development at the HQ. And he said, the President, Engineer Ajibola, wants somebody to represent him at the APBN, an APBN committee meeting. It wasn't even the main council meeting or anything. Are you available? And I said, yes, sir, I'm available. So you must make yourself available to be able to get opportunities. So I said I was available. So I went, so go to that meeting. The meeting was in Alausa, somewhere in Alausa. I went for that meeting. It was the meeting, a committee on the review of the constitution or MEMAT of APBN. My president was a member of that committee, and he told me to go and represent him. Before I left that meeting that day, the outgoing president, Architect Faworaja, and the incoming, Mr. Ajanle Koko, and he is a quantity surveyor. Between both of them, they had agreed that I must become a member of the council of APBN. And that means becoming a member of the exco. I said, no, I can't. But it was just for taking that opportunity. And today, I have a large network amongst other professionals, apart from engineers. So I can hold my own, whether amongst engineers or even other professionals. So when we have a program, we should invite other professionals. I think there was a program sometime not too long ago, the investiture of the chairman of the Institute of NIOB. And I called my president. I said, this one, let us make sure that there's somebody there, collaboration. So to get maximum benefits from membership and advanced professional capabilities, develop your networking ability. Build trust among fellow members. People must be able to trust you and build new associates and strategic partnerships. Trust, I say, because if you don't trust somebody, you can never build a good relationship with the person. Nobody is too young or too old to network. So don't think, well, I beg, I'm not old. There's nothing like that. Or that you are too young. No, you never are. The youth brings enthusiasm and fresh ideas, while the old bring experience and wisdom. So when you connect with both worlds at every given opportunity, then your network is larger and you're able to develop your network from network to partnership, and then from partnership to collaboration. So I'll leave you with these words from George Ross. To be successful, you have to be able to relate to people. They have to be satisfied with your personality to be able to do business with you and to build a relationship with mutual trust. And on this note, I say thank you very much for listening, and God bless you all.
Wow. If it was a physical event, we would have a standing ovation. So let me represent everyone by doing that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I can tell you that for those that are keeping notes, our notes are full. And for every other forum, my president has been doing a lot of a lot of scribbling, a lot of notes and all that I'm actually I can't be out of words, but quite a lot of points that everyone can relate to. Everyone can relate to. Thank you very much. Looking at the participants we have here, 74 at the time, it's now 72, and it cuts across every network. NSC, APWEN, North, East, South, West, you can name it. Everyone here is represented. I was just on the side chatting with with Engineer Remy that will be doing the Q&A session. That's how are we going to manage question and answer session here, coupled with remarks. I said, if we're going to leave here today, we just have to turn a blind eye to so many things and just pick few people. That's to tell you that you actually represent what you preach. This is no putting up slides or stories together, but these are things that you've gone through and things that you represent. I can see hands already up. So Engineer Remy, well done. I'm not in your shoe today. I'm not handling that. I pray that you have grace to handle this effectively and manage the network.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, Engineer Margaret Oguntala, FNSC, thank you very much. You actually did good justice to this. Allow me to say that I'm not sure we would get a better way to have this topic presented than the way you have handled it, with a very practical way. On a lighter note, recently I called that up. I went for something around where Kenol is. I went to do something there, and there was chaos about parking space. And I told the driver, I said, look at that company, Kenol, go and park there. And the driver parked there. By the time I finished the 3 hours program, the security guys were swollen. I'm sure they were waiting for the vehicle that parked here. And eventually the driver got there. I was walking behind. By the time I got there, he said, how can you leave car here? How can you there? When I got there, I said, ideally I should have parked inside. That if I now go inside, I will now still ask Oga to give me lunch. That I'm Engineer Bossede and I'm Engineer Oguntala's daughter. So what do you think? Say, madam, you have finished it. So yeah, come and enter your car. So that's to tell you the power of network. That's on a lighter note. As much as I'll try to do a little bit of wrap up of what our guest speaker has said today. She has said quite a lot, but I'll pick a few. She said networking is the most important level of partnership. Whatever you're doing, always find time to relax and enjoy yourself. If she hadn't told us that she has been on an international local flight, if I may call it that way, with all her face looking prim and proper, we wouldn't have been able to say she had had sleepless nights. But that's to say, enjoy and relax in whatever you're doing. Networking is like a business transaction. Before you can think of what you can give. Position yourself to give. Don't be a liability. Don't be someone that when she's coming or he's coming, they turn their back to you. That's when you're already becoming a liability. Build network, whether you need help or not. Your network can be your network. Consider every meeting an opportunity for you to grow your network. Every meeting, she said, get there early. For some of us that are always late comers, we always try and also find a way to do fellowship after fellowship. In case you can't come early, don't leave early. Make sure you wait to the end Sometimes that's when the president will remember, I have an assignment to you, and that assignment will open other doors for you that you can never think or imagine. Be available to get an opportunity. I would also say here, through NSC, I realized some people who are either in-laws in my husband's family or who are family from my father's side that I never knew. NSC actually made me to know them. And after that relationship, I benefited and they have also benefited, which I call it vice versa. In all, don't say because she is a woman, every man also deserves a stable home, a peaceful home to come to. Home front is part of your network. In fact, they are your first cheerleader. When your home is very peaceful, you will enjoy every other thing you need to do. On that note, Engineer Remy Hamid.
Engineer Bose, just a minute, please. I would like to take this opportunity to introduce the poll we have. We would like our participants to please do a poll. We would like to introduce the poll now. It's showing in front of you. You should be seeing it. So please, can you complete the poll for us? Before the question and answer session, kindly complete the poll, please. If you are a co-host, you will not be able to take part in the poll. I know that the question and answer session is going to be very interesting. So, I wonder what our participation is now. My president, what is the percentage participation?
74%.
Okay, when we get to 80%, we can then move on to question and answer. So if you want to participate, please do so in the next few seconds because we'll be closing the poll. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. 30 more seconds. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11,
The poll
10.
ended.
Yes, what did you say?
I said the poll has ended.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So we'll call on Engineer Remy Hamid, the MD of Hydrogen, to take the question and answer session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ma. That was a very inspiring presentation. Erelu, I would just like to say thank you so much, Ma. Coincidentally, this week was my networking class. I'm actually doing a fellowship, and we talked about strategic networking this week, and you answered some of my questions, as in, so some of the things that we learned theoretically, I've learned the application just by attending this program. I want to say a big thank you to you, and I think I need to network with you more. I have a question which has been bothering my mind since you started. And the question is, you started your business in 1992, and then you had this volume of groups that you belonged to, and you were very active in all of them. How did it impact on your business? Was it positive? Were you able to build? I know you have several other businesses after the first one, but how did your business benefit from your network, before I go to the hands that I raised?
Thank you, Engineer Remy Hamid. Actually, when I started my business in 1992, it was a very small business at the time. And then I joined APWEN and NSA. And the biggest job, my first, there was a way somebody put it in one rule that I read. The first biggest money that I got because through the NSC network, in 1997. I met someone in Ikeja branch at one of the meetings, and he wanted to do bags. And he said, I said, I want to do bags. Okay, can you do bags? I said, well, why not? That was when I got the highest money. But before then, just for being a member of NSC, I had access to the chairman of Guinness. And so I got registered with Guinness, and I had jobs, from manufacturing to supply to, a lot of things that helped me to grow my business. So I would say that all those other networks, all those other organizations, all the organizations that I joined impacted positively on my job.
Okay, thank you so much, Ma. I'd like to go to Engineer Ibitoye Kilomodemo, the FNSC. I'm sorry, sir, I don't know all the OYs. Please pardon me. Kindly go ahead and answer. Go ahead with your question. You have just 1 minute, sir.
Hello, good morning. I think I'm audible there.
You are.
Hello?
Yes, you are.
Yes,
You are.
Yes,
Thank you so
we
much.
can hear
Thank
you,
so
sir.
much.
Can hear you.
I want to appreciate APWEN, led by the president, for this presentation. And I want to appreciate our guest speaker, our auntie, engineer, Mrs. Margaret Oguntala, a fellow of the society, on networking and partnership for sustainable professional development. The lecture is highly informative and educative, and permit me to recognize the presence of all the distinguished personalities. I want us to understand one thing from what she has said. She has done justice to it, and I want to just add that networking is about sharing and not just talking. There's a clear difference between communication and talking. Networking communicates, as she has rightly said. Exchanging information on challenges, experiences, and goals is a key benefit of networking because it allows you to gain new insights that you may not have otherwise thought of. And I want to say here again that offering helpful ideas to a contact is an excellent way to build your reputation as an innovative thinker. She has highlighted some advantages of networking to include getting fresh ideas, raising your profile, advance your career, access to job opportunities, gain more knowledge, get career advice and support, and build confidence. Likewise, strengthening your business connection. So again, networking helps you to meet like-minded people or people who are compatible with you in terms of future ideas. life goals, aspirations, and other plans. COVID-19 is an example which, despite its negative impact, it has its own advantages. One of the advantages, networking, is what we're having here today. If not for COVID-19, probably we will not be meeting online. I remember when I started the live streaming of programs of the Nigerian Society of Engineers in 2014. Some people did not believe. We didn't know COVID-19 would be coming. But today, the live streaming I started 2014 and is still online is part of what Zoom, Webco, which is Cisco, and other things are enjoying today. So networking has done more of favor to my personality and I believe to everybody. So on this note, once again, I want to appreciate our guest speaker for doing justice to this topic. It's a great deal. We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Engineer Kilomodemo. We really appreciate that question. That contribution. I'd like to go to Engineer Dr. Abdulrasheed Babalola, FNSC. Kindly unmute yourself, sir, and go ahead with your question.
Thank you. Good morning, distinguished colleague. I want to, first of all, congratulate the president of APWEN, Engineer Fumilola Ojela, the FNSC, for his usual, if not weekly, but of course, almost weekly webinar to educate both young and senior engineers. At this time, I want to appreciate the lecture for today on networking and partnership for sustainability professional development by our own engineer, Margaret Oguntala, FNSC. I must say, she has made justice to this topic, and our personal life experiences on jobs and businesses and professional activity that she has explained has proven this topic. And I'm sure most of us that are here today have gained in no small way. There is virtually little that can be added to what the distinguished lecturer has said today, because all of us are in this business of networking, which is a very big advantage to our professional development. I'm an academician, and I know to have a sustainable professional development as a career in taking our students through, we have to network and also partner just the way she has explained. So I give it to her. I want to congratulate her. I wish her success in her future presentation and activity. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Abdulrasheed Babalola, for the contribution. I'd like to call on Engineer Adekunle Makinde. He's a past chairman of NIAAA, National Past Chairman of NIAAA. Please kindly unmute yourself and ask your question or make your contribution.
Thank you very much, moderator. Good morning. Oh, sorry, I think it's already afternoon. We started in the morning. Good afternoon, gentlemen and ladies. First of all, I want to start by appreciating the National Executive of APWEN under the leadership of Engineer Fumilola Ojela. You know, I've been following for some years. I've been following APWEN and their activities And I must confess to you, it's just getting better and better. And I must give kudos, for the sheeters of this particular lecture. Of course, I cannot conclude before, without talking about the Erindu herself. Erindu has brought as engineer Mrs. Margaret Oguntala FNSA. She has brought a different, dimension, a different light, painted a new light on networking and partnership. And I'm sure virtually everybody, definitely everybody in this meeting, in this forum today must have gotten, even with those of us that have been doing it before, I've learned some new things, from this presentation today. Of course, listening to the contribution of some other people as well. So I want to appreciate Erelu for this very wonderfully well done job. And of course, I will still continue to network. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Engineer Adekunle Makinde, FNSA. Right now, we'll go to Engineer Akintola. Is a past chairman of NSC Ikeja branch. Kindly unmute yourself and make your contribution or ask your question.
Thank you very much, my Erelu. And I want to say very big thank you to APWEN for a big well done job. And also especially to Mama Kadri. Anytime I see her, I'm just always fascinated for being there for APWEN. We the APMen, we appreciate you. And the president, thank you very much. My question is to Erelu herself. I saw her coming up with one of the grandchildren, just to show you she's a woman of all fronts. I just want to ask, what has been your reaction, the reaction of your husband to some of this your relationship, especially with the opposite sex? Though he's also an engineer, because you are talking about relating with, most percentage of it is relating with men. From the old front, how are you able to maintain all those things apart from doing your normal duties at home? I think that's a very big question to ask, especially because we are on the platform of women. Have you been as a great woman to be able to do that? I think you should be able to put us into some of this insight. Thank you very much.
Would you like me to answer now, Engineer Hamid?
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, yes. Thank you, Engineer Charles Akintola, FNSC. Actually, when I met my husband, I met him when I was doing my IT in Warri Refinery. And he told me that after we got married, he told me that the first time he saw me and he told somebody, he told a colleague that, I like this girl. The person said, hey, this one that everybody knows, because I learned this my networking from when I was very young. I had access, I could walk up to anybody and ask for anything. And the person told him that, refinery you, meaning you wouldn't go to for any course in this refinery because this guy knows everybody. Incidentally, the only course that he attended in that refinery before he was transferred from Warri, I was the one who used my network to get him on that course. Because I was in technical services department, and the technical services manager, as our boss at the time, I would get to work early. He would meet me at work and he would be like, Margaret, when your friends are playing or traveling, you're always so working, always so busy. I said, thank you, sir. And then one day I heard that he was recommending people for courses. And I'd met my husband at the time, we were dating. And he said, so I said, do you mind if I talk to the GM? He said, why not? So I spoke with the GM. I said, sir, Engineer Oguntala, why don't you, to be nice if you put that, he's our boss, and he's very good. And every other person has gone. And the man looked at me and said, you have balls. That was what he said to me, you have balls. So I said, thank you, sir. He put my husband on the course. So that means my networking was positive for him. as it were, against what the average man would the average man would have thought. And he has realized from the beginning my potentials. He knows that, in fact, it was much later in life that I started having female friends. Most of my friends were male. And he got used to that. And because he's also an engineer, and most of these people are people that he knows as well, who are also his colleagues, it's not been too difficult for him to cope. But again, we have had our issues as human beings. I remember when we were preparing for Ikeja 97, and a friend of his, I'm busy, and a friend of his saw me in Engineer Rafalabi's house very early in the morning. We were about 5 of us there. Engineer Ademola Olorunfemi and me and some other, Engineer Musu, a lot of us. And a friend of my husband, his classmate saw me there. He greeted me and then he went to meet my husband and said, I saw your wife in Chief Alabi's house. So when I got home later that day, my husband said, they said, I heard they saw you in Chief Alabi's house. I explained to him. And he said, these people are funny. That the man said it as if he went to Chief Alabi's house and he saw me walking out of Chief Alabi's bedroom. He did not tell him the details. Hey, remove your face. So with time, he learned to trust me. And trust is the thing, is the key. In every relationship, and I think I mentioned trust, even in building networks, in every relationship, there must be trust. Where there is trust, there is no problem at all. Even if I wasn't this kind of person, I could still have some other issues. But once there is trust between both two people, then there is no problem. My husband knows me very well, that all that I do is to enhance myself. Please. Sorry, my grandchildren are here, but yeah, move away. So he knows that all I do is to enhance myself, my business, my career. And I do not at any time or at any point in time undermine him. And I do not do anything to undermine my marriage. He's very clear about that. So I think that's why he has been able to cope. And there are benefits to all of this. In 2015, during the Akure conference, my husband, after every conference, after election, I will go to him and thank him because it's usually my #1 campaign manager. I will go to him and thank him. My husband, thank you very much for your support and all. In 2015 in Akure, when I went to thank him, I knelt down to thank him after the conference. You know what he said? He said, hey, please, you are making noise. Keep quiet. You can see I'm making a presentation. I'm sorry. And he said, you know what? I should be the one thanking you. He said people were calling him from all over the world. That they saw Oguntala. Is that Oguntala related to you, your wife? And that I had taken his family name abroad, outside Nigeria, that because of me, through me, people now know his name. His brothers called me to thank me. Thank you, our wife, for making us popular. So it's and in 2017, those of you who were at the conference will recall that my husband stood there beside me, and he was saying, because I said at manifesto night, I said, you vote for me, you get 2 people. Your one vote for me will give you 2 people, myself and my husband. So you get one, you buy one and you get one for free. And the next day, on the day of election, my husband stood beside me and he will say, buy one, get one free. I am the free one. That's to show you how much he supports my programs and what I'm doing.
Oh,
thank you.
Awesome. I mean, trust is very necessary in every relationship. Thank you so much for your response to that question, ma. I'll go to Engineer Angela Egbiremone. Can you unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yeah, thank you so much, Engineer Margaret, for the inspiring presentation, especially to the upcoming professionals. Now, my question is this. Sometimes when you attend some events, many people are not too willing to share their business cards and for security reasons. Now, in view of the fact that we're preparing for the upcoming current assembly in August, and there are currently so many security issues, kidnapping, so how would you advise us? How can we network easily? How can we build up our build up good relationships? How can we get people to trust us, to release their maybe business cards or share their phone numbers and such, to also help us build up our own contacts as well. Thank you, Ma.
Yes, Engineer Angela. You've asked me, honestly, let me confess this. My grandchildren have been distracting me and I didn't hear the last part of your question. Please, boys, go now. I'm busy. Please. Engineer Angela, can you please come back with the last question, that main one, please?
Yes, I just asked, in view of the upcoming current assembly.
Yes.
Yeah. So how the young professionals going to work around building up our contacts, our relationship? How are we going to approach the elders in engineering to get them to really to share their business, the business cards, contacts,
Okay.
Because of insecurity issues in the country at the moment.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry again that I had to ask you to repeat yourself.
No, it's fine. I have to drive my children away and lock my door. That's what I did.
I locked my door earlier, but they were banging on the door. So anyway, so it's not too difficult. Granted that there are security issues, but as professionals, we still relate with one another. And then getting people to trust you comes from, very little things. So what you need to do when you get to the engineering assembly, for instance, approach whoever you think will be able to help you. Approach the person and just walk up to the person and say, good morning, sir. It could even be the current president himself. The first time I met the current president now, and we had a very good relationship, was in Bauchi in 2008. And he just stood there and, he stood by himself. I stood in my corner. But eventually, we had to do something together and then we started relating. So walk up to whoever you feel. Now, there will be introductions made during the opening ceremony, for instance. Dignitaries will be introduced. So you'll be able to identify who can help your business. Once you are able to identify such a person, walk up to the person. That's one style. Another way to it is somebody like me will be there. I could be your link. You could come to me. I've seen there's you could say the executive secretary or executive chairman of NASENI. Professor MS Aruna is here. He has been introduced and I've been looking for, there's something that I need to do with NASENI. And you come to me, then I could take you up to him and say, sir, I have my colleague who needs something from you. So those are the ways. And of course, because he knows me, it will be easy for him to trust me enough to also deal with you in spite of the security issues. Does that answer your question, Ma?
Yes, thank you, Ma.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. We still have about 5 hands raised. So I'll just take all the questions together and Engineer Oguntala can respond to them at once. Engineer Mary Francis, please unmute yourself and go ahead with your question. Hello, Engineer Mary, we can't hear you.
Good afternoon, Ma. I'm a recent graduate and I said during my courses, so I found it a bit difficult to flow in the engineering field. So I was wondering if it's possible to get a mentorship program for other upcoming engineers in school. Like probably you do a program for those in production, those in mechanical, so that they can be able to network perfectly even before coming out of school, as in going into the industry. And also, how do we now correlate our studies with those programs? Because sometimes most programs usually for doing our exams, and we would have loved to get something like maybe a recorded program or something, or a brochure that really help us in future. That's my questions. Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you. She'll respond to it shortly. I'd like to go to Engineer Goodluck. I'm so sorry. I know you've been raising your hand for a while. I just wanted to give a few of our ladies an opportunity to speak because we've had 4 men speak earlier. Engineer Goodluck is Yes, is the NSC Vice President for South. Apologies, sir. Kindly unmute yourself.
Sorry, let me correct that, please. You,
okay.
Engineer Bitoye Kilomodemo was introduced as Vice President Southwest, and you are introducing Engineer Goodluck Owodo as Vice President South. They are Vice Presidents. We elected them. Even though they came through, each one came through his own zone, is a Vice President of NSC, simple. So they are both Vice Presidents, please, not for South or Southwest or Southeast.
Noted, ma.
Okay.
Please go ahead, Engineer.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello? Okay.
We can hear you. Please
I want
go
to say
ahead.
good morning. Yes, I want to say good morning, good afternoon to everybody, especially the president of APWEN, the executive committee members, and all members of APWEN for this wonderful, let me call it a preparation, because if it were not prepared, Engineer Mrs. Oguntala wouldn't have been able to deliver this wonderful, powerful lecture that will change the platform of so many individuals and so many professional bodies that will follow the procedure which he has put in place. I call it a procedure because when you follow such procedures in preparing yourself for any activities, surely you will move forward. Secondly, I want to say that trust is the key to everything in life, as she has said. If you are trusted in little, you can then be trusted in much. I want to appreciate all of you. I want to appreciate Engineer Margaret Oguntala. Engineer Mrs. Margaret Oguntala, the Lolo of Warri Kingdom, for this wonderful presentation. And also with APWEN, you know, I called Boss Sede yesterday. I thought this program was taking place yesterday. I was already online, but I couldn't actually hear anything. I have to call her before she told me, no, it's today. So since morning, even before 11, I had been on the line waiting to join the meeting. So I want to appreciate you, and I'm sure that more of your potentials will be required, not only by APWEN, but by so many other persons. Because this knowledge, we have to start sharing it. Those of us who have it, who have worked in various places, and who have different potentials and experiences in various places, we have to share them so that the younger ones coming up can begin to look at us and say, yes, I think I can pick this man, I can pick this woman for a mentor to assist me in getting myself to the level I want to be. So appreciation to you, Engineer Margaret Oguntala. God bless you richly for this wonderful exposition which you have given unto us today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Engineer Goodluck, for your contribution. Derelu is actually a mentor to so many of us. Engineer Olasayinde, kindly unmute yourself and ask your question. Hello, Engineer Olasayinde. Okay, while he's trying to connect, Engineer Fatai and Anofi, kindly unmute yourself and ask your question.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Thank you very much. Let me join others to congratulate APWEN, especially the president and the ESCO for these wonderful lectures, presentations that are organized. Honestly, if there is any division of NSC that I'm very, very proud of anytime, any day, I think it's APWEN. Always join APWEN program because always late. For the presenter of today, I don't have any doubt of at all our capacity. I've worked under engineer Mrs. Oguntala. She's very wonderful. She's somebody who was not owners. In CPC of 2015, this woman led us to a very successful conference. I think everybody attests to that. And the presentation of today is also a testimony to that. She has actually exposed networking collaborations and partnerships. That is one of the problems we have in the society. I'm talking about the engineers. Engineering is a very big profession and you cannot do it alone. You need partnership, you need to network, you need to collaborate. It is when you do that that you are going to be successful. And she has really exposed that to us. And that I'm very sure is behind our success in everything she did. One thing I also want to say is Erelu is not just for Southwest or South, Erelu is for Nigeria and for international. This is a woman that is ability is known all over Nigeria. I'm from Zaria, I'm in Zaria as we speak. And everybody know our capacity. She come, in fact, the question was asked the last time that how is she able to manage the control? This is a woman who will be everywhere you call her to come and hear a word of this. So I'm actually very grateful and I thank Apple. The only thing I want to ask Apple is this kind of presentation and this kind of exposition, how can it shape larger society in a larger Nigerian society of engineers and even other professional bodies? By our own, let us sell let us sell engineering, let us sell because we can make her to present this lecture in the light because we need this knowledge. And that is my job challenge. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Engineer Anofi.
Professor
we'll quickly go to Engineer. Oh, sorry, Professor Anofi. It wasn't written there. Okay, so Engineer Asisat Shola Gbadegeshin, can you unmute yourself?
Hello, good morning, everybody. Or good afternoon.
Morning.
Okay. Thank you very much, Engineer Oguntala, for that lecture. It was very inspiring. I just want to ask a question. I noticed from the presentation and from what you mentioned about your experience and your personality, you are an outgoing person. This is something that I would say is easy for you because you find it very easy to relate to people, easy to walk up to, strangers and talk to them. So I was just wondering, what advice would you have for, let's say, people that are a bit more quiet, more introverted engineers who are not readily, who don't find it so easy to walk up to a stranger and, strike up a conversation and, continue that conversation? What networking tips can you give to that kind of engineering professional? And also, I think that can also apply to upcoming engineers. Most graduates will have that challenge of actually walking up to somebody they don't know, to strike up a conversation and not start, what to even talk about might even be a challenge for them. And so I was just wondering if you have any tips that can help, more introverted professionals and upcoming career professionals on networking. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Engineer Asisat. So, Erelu, you can go ahead and answer the questions. The first one was on mentorship program for young engineers. And okay, this is about introverted engineers. How people who are loners, how do they walk up to people to... So I think there's a hand raised. APWEN headquarter. Oh, okay.
Yes, on the matter of mentorship, from APWEN side, we have our town and gown mentoring program. I had thought my president would speak about that. So what will I have to ask the young lady? I think that was Mary Francis, or was it
Mary,
Angela?
yes.
Mary, yes.
No, Mary, yes.
Mary Francis, I would ask you to keep in touch with us. We visit our website, apwen.org. And also, I will send you my email address and my phone number so that we can talk and let you know all the things we do. And you and all your friends, we have mentoring programs, okay, where we try to get you into the different things that are happening around you. So let me leave this to the next part to Engineer Oguntala to tell you about the other part of mentoring and mentorship. Thank you.
Thank you, Auntie. Now that Mary Francis also asked about how As students, they can combine the programs that the professional bodies have with the school program. Actually, it's not possible that all the programs will take place during your exams. And what you need to do is identify the programs that are useful to you, that will impact your life. In 1996, that was the first time that I was to organize a program for APWEN. We had this student forum. It was named Student Forum. Let me tell you how it happened. I was in my house one morning, and Engineer Ms. Amusu's clerk brought some letters to my house for me to sign. She had put my name as chairman organizing committee. I didn't know jack about organizing anything. There was no telephone for me to call her and say, Ma, I cannot do this. So I had to take up the challenge. And that took me to University of Lagos. I remember that even though the exams were closed, we still got a good number of students, yet some did not come. So it's your mind. A lot of times it's about you wanting to do something. It's about you creating time for what you think will benefit you. If there's a program taking place during your exam, of course, nobody will expect you to participate. But that student forum of 1996, I'll tell you that a few days ago, I was in Afe Babalola University for accreditation. I led the accreditation team to Afe Babalola. And I met a professor who said he knew me, that I came to the school to Unilag in 1996. It was in February 1996. At that time, the late Professor Ibidapo Obe was the Dean of Engineering. And he said he saw me at the time, and that program impacted his life. So what you need to do is just prioritize, really. You can never have enough time for everything that you have to do in life. But identify the ones that are useful to you. When you hear that a group of professionals are coming to your school to organize a program, you must know that that is the career that you have chosen. And definitely it will have a positive impact on your life. And as much as possible, try to attend. And while I was in Afe Babalola, one of the members of my team was the vice chairman of APWEN Benin chapter, Engineer Queenette Kingsley Omoyibo. And immediately before we left Afe Babalola, we organized a collegiate for them. We started the process of the collegiate in Afe Babalola. The students will, of course, benefit from all of that. So now to my advice for introverts. My father is an extrovert, was an extrovert, complete extrovert. My mother is a complete introvert. Somehow I'm lucky that I think I'm an extrovert, but I have siblings who are introverts. My advice for the introverts is this: to be able to network, you must make up your mind that networking is something that you have to do. Once you realize that, then you can come out of it. I said in the beginning, in the lecture, that you can learn it. For some people, it is inborn. It's just God. But for some other people, you learn it. You can learn the art. You can learn the art. So what you do is you see people and you don't know how to walk up to them. You can, these days, really, life is even much easier. You could meet on platforms. Even this WhatsApp, there are a lot of people that I meet on WhatsApp platforms that I join. I see a post, if I see a post that is of use to me, I quickly private chat the person. That is one way for introverts who cannot walk up to people. That's one way. And I know a number of people on this group now, on this platform now, who I met on such platforms. You can use that platform, and then you can just keep working towards building your confidence. There was a time I delivered a lecture, I think it was on APWEN, maybe the International Women's Day, when I spoke about confidence. Confidence that is something that you build by yourself. You have to do it. Come out of your shell. There's no choice. There's no option. There's no alternative. It will not, the worst that you will get is a no. Make up your mind. Okay, I need this thing from this person. So I walk up to the person. The person can just tell me, no, I'm not going to do it. I was in a flight with a man one day. I had a small luggage in the cabin. And then I said, excuse me, sir, could you please help me? And he said, no. I said, could you please help bring my bag? He said, no. And I was shocked because I didn't think a Nigerian man, an average man, Nigerian man is very supportive, very helpful, and is eager to take care of the lady. But he told me outright, he looked at me and he said, no. I said, okay, thank you, sir. And then the next person Another person said, Madam, don't worry, and he helped me. So what I'm trying to say is that if you walk up to one person and he says no, don't worry, don't be discouraged. The next person might not say no. So my advice is keep working at your confidence. And with time, be able to get over it. I don't know any other way other than for you to build your confidence, really. So take the bull by the horn, bite the bullet, as the Americans will say, and take that leap that you need to take. Thank you.
I would like to say something about that. Engineer Oguntala, thank you very much for your presentation. And I would like to say something about the introvert person. You are not the right person to say it because you are not an introvert. But I am. Correct. Okay, I grew up a very, very shy child. It was so bad. There is a name my mother calls me. What does that mean? Anytime a visitor comes to the house, I run away and I hide. And when they call me, I'm just behind a closed door. So she gave me that name. But so I can relate with what that person asked, that how do introverts do who cannot readily walk up to people? You know, because we have the reputation of being classified as proud or arrogant, because when you see them, because you are shy, you are an introvert, you don't want to greet, you look for a way to run. Meanwhile, the person has seen you and he believes that you have snubbed him. So they take you as a snob. But one thing that I see has helped me, because as much of an introvert as I am, I can face 1 million people and speak. And I'm not afraid and I'm not shy. So you need to volunteer to do things. How did I learn this speaking thing? I was in the school choir when I was in secondary school. It's a volunteer thing. You volunteer to be there. They don't choose you. So I volunteered. And my music teacher then told us, look, when it's time to sing in public, just stand there and be looking at the back of the hall. Don't look at the congregation. Don't look at the audience. Okay, that if you look at the audience, you will see your mother and then you will miss your lines. So that skill, I've mastered it. So if I'm standing before 2 million people, I can speak. I'm not afraid, I'm not shy, because I'm in my mind, I'm facing the back of the hall. I'm not seeing anybody. The same way, I'm APWEN president today by the grace of God, but it is volunteering from time to time. I was technical secretary in APWEN Abuja. I was vice chair. I was, you know, whenever they're going somewhere, I follow them. These are my small circle. I will just follow them. I don't have to talk. I will just be there. When I was going to become the chairman then, one person said she was really afraid whether I would be able to do anything because I never spoke. I was always just the vice chair who was following the chairman. And that is just me. But I have a large network of people. I have a lot of people that love me who have come to understand that it is how I am. That if I see you and I don't greet you, it's not because I don't want to greet you. I probably didn't see you, or I'm probably thinking, oh, she's in the midst of so many people, let me just walk away, you know. But by volunteering to do things, people will know you as someone who is hardworking. They will know you as someone who is selfless. They will know your nature as someone who is kind and someone who is willing to give. And that is what they will look out for. And that is how you network with them. So even when you meet someone, you know, and you are speaking to somebody has heard about you and is willing to also talk to you. So the best way you can, in a nutshell, is to volunteer your services, volunteer your time, and in any circle that you find yourself, that you'll be able to network that way. Thank you.
Thank you, my president, for that. Very insightful.
Thank you so much, my president. I mean, for us introverts, I'm glad you were able to shed more light on this. Okay, so we have rounded off on the Q&A session. Bert, I see a hand that is raised. Oh my goodness. So I saw Engineer Abiola Koshegbe's hand. It was raised just a few seconds ago. I don't know if you wanted to say anything, ma'am. Okay, still raised up. And I see Engineer Ademola Olorunfemi as well. Wow. Please, I'll just give you like, okay, all right. Thank you so much. So please, you have the floor, Engineer Abiola Koshegbe. Please, 1 minute, ma, for your contribution.
Okay, well, thank you. I just wanted to say a very good job to Engineer Oguntala. I didn't expect anything less. We were talking about, just because you were talking about introverts and all that, I wanted to just add that when I was much younger, I was an extrovert. Somehow, as I got older, I started having kind of like a mixed personality. In some situations, I don't want to talk. In some situations, even when they're trying to force me, I say, no, I'm shy. I don't want to talk. I don't know even how that happened. Because when I was much younger, all my friends could testify that I was just bold and just one crazy young girl. But as I started getting older, they'll try to nudge me and I'll just say, I don't want to talk, So even people want to ask me to make presentations. I'm always so reluctant to make presentations and things like that. And, Engineer Oguntala is a very good friend of mine. We started together in those days. And I really appreciate the strides you've made, I really just wanted to add to it that I still have, and we always have a lot to learn. And definitely I know that I still have a lot to learn in the aspect of, you would think that with the kind of position I have, even now because of the position I have, they're always trying to say, oh, PS, it's your turn, or you have to do vote of thanks. And I'll be like, oh my God, until we have to get up and face all these people again, So yes, thank you, Engineer Oguntala. I learned a lot from your lecture, and definitely there'll be so many things, and even all the comments as well. Definitely there'll be so many things that one can pick just to continue to build one's confidence, so to speak. So thanks a lot for that. Thanks.
You, sis.
Thank you so much, ma. Engineer Demola Olorunfemi, FNSC, past president of NSC. Kindly unmute yourself, sir.
Thank you very much, moderator. My sister chairman, I was wondering, I didn't want to raise up my hand because I don't want to disrupt those who have a lot of things to inquire. But I was now wondering if my president knew I'm in the house. I said, well, don't let me take it for granted before they say now we are rounding up.
Sorry about that, sir.
Okay.
But
we saw you in the participants column. We are very sure you are there.
Oguntala mentioned that you were in the house.
Thank you, my darling sister. I will not keep quiet. So I'm honored. It's always a great pleasure. I am one of the very young men when the likes of our daddy, later Lavi, were the first crop of men. I was one of the portfolio carrier. Well, let me quickly again align myself and congratulate my sister, the president of APWEN, for yet another blowout. This is awesome. APWEN has done this over and over again. Even before the advent of webinar that became very popular with COVID, I have known a lot of APWEN but I think
we're losing you, sir.
I can say I knew all the APWEN presidents.
Yeah, we're losing you. Hello, sir. Okay, while we wait for him to reconnect, sorry, there's a hand that has been raised earlier, and hello? He has raised it. Okay, please go ahead, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, you're back.
I said I knew every APWEN president, starting from our mama, and I can say I worked with practically all, and I attended the initiation. I want to thank my sister, the president, and the ESCO. Great job. Keep it up. Let me congratulate my sister, Margaret Oguntala. I'm very, very, very so proud of you. And I thank you for putting me as an example. I'm humbled, it's a great honor. People tell me that a lot, and I give God all the glory. Yes, I am an extrovert. I was born like that. But the president mentioned something. Interestingly, most of the things I wanted to mention, one person or the other has mentioned it. The president mentioned something. My sister, he said service. If you are not done to service, you can't learn, you can't grow, you can't network. If your position in life is what is in it for me, what can NSC do for me, what can APWEN do for me, what can my town association do for me, which is so common among engineers. And I face that every day from when I was little, and I'm usually very upset. I mean, sometimes I could be temperamental. So thank you, Mr. President. It is about service, voluntary service. Let me quickly recall, as public secretary of Ikeja in 1995-96 or 67, separately, Engineer Kendi Oshikoya, Engineer Yemisi Shilon. This, this way you are going, you'll be president. I never dreamt of that. Oshikoya said, you'll be coming here for publicity. Ask for something for yourself. Oh, I said, no, but I came here for NSC. Because people go in the name of one association or the other and be fighting their own necks. But the way God designs life is that He will reward you at His own time. So thank you, Mr. President. Service, voluntary service. Don't ask what the society can do for you. Make yourself available for service. I didn't go to any business school. I didn't go to any landing school. Among so many others, late Engineer Ralph Alabi, who calls me Omoaba, the son of the father, was a great teacher to me. If I don't belong to where it belongs to, when they form committees, he will put me there. I run errands at all times. Late Engineer Oluwawoyifa, just to mention a few. How did I meet Bosse, my bro? I never knew her. The dad, late Jumola, we call him Brashiwu, nice man. I used to go and meet him in Tavara Square. Bosse was I wouldn't know Bosse, but Bosse got to hear my name, Olorunfemi, and she walked up to me, or maybe saw my citation or whatever. And here from Shupari, made inquiries. But that's my bro. We met on NSC platform. So I can go on and on, but time is fast spent. I congratulate you, Margaret. I'm so proud of you. The sky is a stepping stone. I know you're going somewhere, and God will take you there. My sisters, I'm honored. Thank you once again. It's always a great pleasure to be in your midst. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Engineer Olorunfemi, FNSA. We appreciate your contribution.
Come back later.
Over to you, Engineer Bossede.
Thank you very much, Engineer Oluremi Amit. Like I said, I'm glad I didn't take the Q&A session. I knew it was going to be loaded, loaded and loaded with people all around. And thank you very much. You did justice to it. We appreciate you. Thank you for your time and your tenacity in getting this session done. I saw something in the chat box and it caught my attention. It was from Dr. Omodele, a letter. I want to see if I can read it. It was a great summary, most especially for those of us that are introverts, you know. Somebody will be looking like introvert or extrovert. It doesn't matter. Either you're introvert or extrovert. In summary, no one would have your head when you make a mistake. You will get better with practice over time. Just take a bold step. If you don't do it, you won't even know if you're doing the right thing or you're doing the wrong thing. It is in doing it that you'll be able to know if what you've done is right or if what you've done is wrong. And see, the more you do it, you get better at it. When you run away for assignments, when you claim not to be available, you won't get to be called, and that's ways where opportunity slips by. A very recent one is the the 80th birthday of our founding president. When our president came up with the assignments and the team, we came together and we started doing it. Little did I know that I was going to meet those that were already presidents, past presidents of NSC, even when I was in the cradle. And then that has built my network. Some even called, like the vice president said, some call me to remind me about programs, or some call to ask questions. These are people ordinarily, in doing my few things I do, I might not have met them. And I know this is just the beginning. I'm looking forward to the day somebody will say, okay, I know your mother, and those are part of the things that association births and gives to us. Engineer Margaret Oguntala, FNSC. I remember when they used to call you Lolo of NSC Victoria Island branch. Let me say it today that she is Erelu Global and Lolo Global. On that note, I would like to hand over to the chairman of BES committee that handles APWEN e-learning program, Engineer Fumilayo Kadri, FNSC. Ma, please, before I hand over to you, I know you don't like some of this, but allow me to recognize, because it takes our time, but I'd like to especially recognize the second president of APWEN, Engineer Nkechi Isigwe, FNSC. She's been online since, I want to believe she's still there. We've heard from our past presidents, Engineer Demola Orolunfemi. We've heard from Engineer Biola Koshegbe. I'd also like to recognize Engineer Uwankegu Ojuku. They all joined from the beginning of the session. Engineer Dr. Fumilade Akingbagbo. We still have our KLM, one and only KLM, online with us, our APMAN. We have Engineer Mayowa Idowu, NIEEE chairman from Abeokuta. Engineer NSC, I call her Engineer NSC, the only Ezioku NSC. Ma, thank you. And to a lot of people that I just can't mention, Erelu brought all the timber and calibers of these great associations and other professional body on board this seminar. Thank you very much for showcasing practical networking. Engineer Fumilayo Kadri, FNSC, one of the 6 founding members of the association. Over to you, Ma, for your closing remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're muted, Ma.
Thank you very much for pointing that out. Thank you, Engineer Margaret Oguntala, FNSC, FNS Chemical Engineers. Thank you, Bosse and Oluremi, for the good job you've done. I want to thank my president, Engineer Fumilola Ojelade, because if she does not permit us, we can't do what we're doing. Thank you for having confidence in the ability of our committee. And all we do is for APWEN. We like to work in the background. I want to thank every person, all our past presidents, our NSC vice presidents, our NSC presidents, and the different chapter chairs that have been on this meeting. We say thank you and God bless you. I want to also recognize my friend, Engineer Kunle Adebajo. I don't know if he's still online. He must have left. And Biola Koshegbe, my Aburo, thank you for attending this. And for everyone, every single, nobody is small. You are all very important. And we look forward to you joining our next virtual event. God bless you. And like Engineer Margaret said, use this as an opportunity to do some networking. We're going to, as we close the meeting, I would like you to please also use this opportunity to talk to someone, tap someone. You can tap someone, say hi to them, introduce yourself. We will leave this on for the next 5 minutes. Please have some fun. Thank you so much. God bless you. And God bless the Nigerian Society of Engineers. God bless APWEN. So, time to interact. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam, for a very good encourage.
So why will I not start with Engineer Kadri? Ezioku will start from kissing you first.